So I'm at the gas station and I'm pumping gas. And let me describe the car. It's a Corolla, so it's an economy car. Good on gas. Tank's not that big. I think it's 12 and a half, 13-gallon tank. And it wasn't even on empty. So I'm putting gas in the tank. And I'm watching the numbers go up, just kind of roll up. And first it's like 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and then it started approaching 50, and I swear I started looking around to see if the gas was going to be gushing out of, the hose, or it was spilling out under the ground. Maybe there's a hole in the tank that I missed, or maybe I start seeing gasoline fill up the back seat of the car, because since I've owned this car, I've never been able to fit $50 worth of gas in that car under any circumstances. I'm thinking like these gas prices have got to stop. I mean, it's almost like $5 a gallon here in Georgia, and I know if you're listening to somewhere else, you're like $5. I'd love that $5 because California it's $7 or more. So look, I know we got it good, but I don't want to sit here and go, I'm happy with this situation. But the good thing is, Joe Biden, who was at a NATO meeting today, he announced when it's going to stop. He has a plan. Just listen to him. So let's talk about it. Hello, everyone. This is Keith. Welcome to the Ghetto Sapien channel, your home of inner city intelligence. So yeah, there wasn't a hole in the tank. It wasn't filling up my back seat. It's just that gas was $5 a gallon for the first time. Yeah, that happens. Never. So yeah, so it was really expensive, and it's starting to get to me. And I don't even commute to work. I work from home, and I make a decent amount of money. So gas normally, I don't even look. When it was between $1.50 and $2.50 for the longest time. I didn't even look at that, see how much it eventually cost. I knew it was going to be less than $30, so whatever, $30, big deal. Now I'm starting to look at the gas, at the cost of gasoline. I'm really paying attention, so I can imagine how it is for someone who's living in the median income. It's terrible, and they're wondering when it's going to end. Joe Biden has a plan. He was recently at NATO, and he has made it clear when this is going to stop. Here we go. Yahoo News. I like using left-wing sites when I can because people complain when you just look at Fox News, they don't believe it. So it's kind of hard for leftists, or lefticals, as they like to call them, to claim that Yahoo News is fake news. So drivers to pay higher gas prices for, this is a quote from Joe Biden, as long as it takes for Ukraine to win, Biden said. So your future is not in your hands. It's not in Joe Biden's hands, even though you voted for him most likely. I guess 81 million of you did. So Joe Biden can't do anything for you. It's all on Putin. When Putin just is no longer in the mood to go to war with Ukraine, it'll just all be over and everything go back to normal. So the most powerful man on the planet, Joe Biden, is letting you know that someone like Putin, who's pretty much a third world country at this point, Russia, no offense, but it's not doing as well as the United States, but he's holding all the cards. Biden is just completely, he's helpless against Putin. And what is so ironic is the fact that all these years they've been telling us how terrible Russia is, and well, at least Putin is, and how it's our greatest enemy, which I don't really think it is, and how how bad it is, and blah blah blah, and how Trump's in league with Russia. But who's helping out Russia more at this point? Who's pumping up Russia and making it seem like they got all this control of the United States, and helping them with their economy, which we'll soon see in a little bit. I don't mean to laugh. It's just so ridiculous. Joe Biden's done more for Russia than Putin has. And I'll show you that in a bit. So, it says here, I'll continue quoting from Yahoo News. Joe Biden said during a press conference at the NATO summit in Madrid that drivers can expect to pay higher gas prices for as long as it takes. You mother effer, as long as it takes. As long as it takes for Ukraine to win the war against Russia. Wars can take years, man, and especially if you're pumping money into it and using the country, one of the poorest countries in the East, in Europe, which is Ukraine. If you're using it to launder tax money, you'll keep that war going on for years. I personally think it is a money laundering operation. We already knew about Hunter Biden being on the board of an energy company in Ukraine, Barista Holdings, and he was making about between 56 and 83,000 a month in a country that's like almost as poor as Haiti. That didn't draw anyone's attention. And now they're sending billions back into Ukraine to keep this war going, when instead they should have been trying to get the Putin and Zelensky at the peace table and try and hash it out somehow. They want this war to go on because I think that Biden is running out of time. Biden's not going to be doing speech tours or book sales after he's out of office. This is it. He can barely stand up and walk now without reading a cue card. So the Biden crime family, I'm just going to call it as is, the crime family, they're not going to be able to milk Joe for much longer. So I think they're just trying to cram as much money through the Ukraine so they can launder it back out and help their family as they can, because Biden's going to be checking out. He's either going to have to go to retirement. He's not going to be president in 2024. Even if he runs, he's not going to make it. But I don't think the Democrats are going to allow him to run. It's just too much. It's just, you see, he's winding down like a clock. Anyway, so the president was asked by Jim Tankersley of the New York Times, of all places. When the New York Times is starting to bust your balls as a Democrat, that clock's ticking. He asked, how is it fair, and this is a good question, how is it fair to expect American drivers and drivers around the world to pay that premium for this war? And again, Biden, as long as it takes. Russia cannot, in fact, defeat Ukraine and move beyond Ukraine. I don't think people care about Ukraine anymore. And I could tell because when the war first broke out, everyone's profile on Facebook and Instagram, it was the Ukrainian flag. I couldn't even point to Ukraine on a map. I'm sure most of the people couldn't either. They couldn't name anything about it except Zelensky, and they've seen it on TV. But they had that, we stand by Ukraine. I don't see that anymore. I don't think anyone gives an F about Ukraine right now. They're worried about feeding their children and putting gasoline in their tank. But this is all Biden's got. He's got Ukraine, and they got the January 6th hearings, and that's all they have. So it continues. Look at the impact the war had on Ukraine and has had on Russia, the president said. They've had to renege on their national debt. He should talk. I mean, we went from a AAA bond rating under Obama and Biden, and we went to a double. So we went triple, double bond rating because they ran the country so poorly. So first black president ruins the credit of the United States. They have a bad credit score. All right, cheap shot. So it's like I said. So Biden is basically trying to say that he's hurting Russia. Russia's hurt. So this shouldn't last much longer because Russia can't take the pressure of the economic sanctions that Biden has and sanctions on the oil. They're going to give it at any time. Oh, yeah, okay. Meanwhile, in Russia, this is on Tuesday. Let's see what's going on with the Russian ruble. Russia's ruble is the strongest currency in the world this year. Not just stronger than the American dollar. It is the strongest in the world. And this has happened under Biden's watch. But whatever Biden's doing, and it's a lot, he's hurting the United States citizens and helping Russia. The article says, and that's CBS News because they're left-wing too. Love them. Love to cite these news sites. Even as Russia marks a historic default on its debt, the nation's currency is gaining strength. The ruble hit a new high against the US dollar this week, continuing its streak as the best performing currency this year in the world. So yeah, I don't know, but I think Putin might be able to tough this one out. If because look, if oil reaches $9 a gallon, that's hurting America. That's helping Putin because what does he produce for the most part? Oil. So how does running up the cost of oil hurt Putin? Utterly ridiculous. It just makes absolutely no sense. We're not buying. We only bought maybe 2-3% of our oil from Russia anyway. So us sanctioning means nothing. Europe needs their oil in order to have heat during the winter, which is coming up soon. Winter's coming. Another dark winter of death. So Biden's actually going to make Europe have a dark winter of death, even though he wished that on us not too long ago. So the oil that we have left behind, and we're not giving to Russia, we're not buying from Russia, India and China have picked it up. So that oil is going to get sold, whether we sanction it or not. I don't know where this is headed, but it's just, I guess we got 2.5 more years of Biden, and we just got to suck it up and deal with it. Putin's really loving it, that's for sure. I don't know, man, because I'm not putting $100 worth of gas in my Corolla. Eventually, the gas in a car be worth more than a car. By the way, Biden's running this economy. But I'll leave this one short. That's my comment on this. Good luck out there. I wish you guys the best. You have to drive in all day, every day to work. I really do hope this ends soon. But I'm just not expecting to see Biden improve or change in any which way. He's stubborn and stupid. That's a bad, bad combination. But that's my comment. What's yours? Like, share, and subscribe.